Hello, everyone, and welcome. Episode number 70 of Illiana Stock Car
Oh man,
Radio.
we're at 70. God, I feel old now.
Well, you are old,
Maybe
and
as the walking around all Saturday hanging cameras around my shoulders and
let's go
God,
with
that was yeah,
tis the season, man. Huh?
it is. It is. It's always that first week back where it's like, man, this much work last year?
And the answer is yes, it
Yeah.
was. And it's going to be work
Yeah, I just
all
got
year.
better at it by the end of the season.
Yeah, you just got time to. You're just a little rusty right now. That's all
Right.
it is.
There you go.
You got to work it in just a little bit.
Practice
And I
for the
mean,
drivers, practice for me.
yeah. Although you wouldn't know it, it's race season by the weather
Oh
outside since we
God,
had
yeah.
snow and 30-degree temperatures. But
Yeah, I saw so many people mowed the lawn on Saturday and strapped the plow to the front of the mower today.
yeah, we had same thing. People mowing Saturday, and yeah, you need to almost shovel snow this morning. But yeah, good times. So yeah, episode number 70 coming your way here tonight. Our local asphalt preview show, and the plans changed just a
Yeah.
little bit, probably within the last hour.
Nothing like racing where you're coming to green and all of a sudden, hey, the car don't work.
Yeah. So the plan was this evening we were going to have Tony Eldridge, promoter Plymouth Speedway at South Bend Motor Speedway, on the show previewing those two racetracks. Steve Bechtel in here previewing the Grundy County Speedway and chatting with him for a little while. Tony, unfortunately, is under the weather this evening and could not join us. He sends his regards to everybody, and we won't hold it against him. We have him on multiple times a year, and we will more than make up for this down the road and subject our misery upon him once again. So definitely shout out to Tony. Hope he gets to feeling better, and we'll see him and talk to him down the road. So we'll do our best to kind of fill in and preview what we see coming up for Plymouth Motor Speedway and South Bend Motor Speedway on the schedule. So that just leaves our main man, Steve Bechtel, in here. We're going to bring him in here in just a minute, kind of preview the Grundy County Speedway, everything they've got going on this season. Also, recap some of the iRacing stuff that we did the off season with the Grundy County Speedway League. A lot of cool things happening, over there in the off season. A lot of fun to be had, and yep.
I knew it.
Yeah. So Stan popped in there. Meaning we can't badger Tony about super late models at Plymouth, and thought maybe it was just cover up because he didn't want to answer the questions about it. But that's what we got going on. So let's.
The newest news on Plymouth I actually read this morning is Kevin said, you know what, screw the race cars, are going to roast snowmobiles and speedboats.
Well, we're about at that spot to have to be able to do that, especially with everything we've got going on here in the weather. But May, I think it's supposed to be like in the 70s and 80s this weekend.
Yeah,
so.
It's supposed to be like 80 on Saturday and then rain on Sunday.
So yeah, Northwest Indiana or Northern Indiana, I guess if you're over there. Just wait 5 minutes, the weather will change if you don't like it. So with that being said, though, I mean, why wait any longer?
Yeah.
Let's bring in Steve Bechtel, promoter, Grundy County Speedway. Steve, welcome into the show.
Guys, how you doing, man? Good to see you again.
Doing all right.
Yeah, getting snowed on again.
Well, like Jeremy said, it's going to be, I saw 78 on Saturday, so we can make it through the week to get to 80 degrees on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. So how's things going over there, Steve?
Things are good. I see you guys almost every Friday during the season when we do our Grundy County Speedway iRacing League, and sad that that's over with, but that just means good things. That means we're getting ready for some real racing, and busy all winter. People don't realize just how much behind the scenes stuff goes into you guys when you do your show. The show is cake. It's an hour, and it's all the stuff beforehand and the editing and talking to guests and lined up and doing that. Same with you, Chris. Doing all your stuff at home when you do your pictures and getting them ready. When you actually get to the racetrack, that's the easy stuff. And it's kind of the same, during the week. For the racing season, it's crazy. The whole off season is crazy. But got out there last Saturday for practice, and it was good to be out there, see some familiar faces, smell racing gas, and see race cars on the track.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Practice opened up with practice this past weekend, man. You're there. Kind of what's the vibe you're getting around the racetrack? I'm sure everybody's excited to get going.
Yeah, real excited. About a normal practice. Not a lot of the late models and the sportsman cars. I think a lot of those guys, they figure for the time they can bring in their whole crew on a practice day, it's the same amount of cost to just rent the track by themselves. And I think a lot of those teams would rather just come out on Tuesday, Wednesday, be able to run 10 laps, pull off, make a change, go back out there, make a change. They prefer to do it that way. So we the lower divisions, and we had Super Cups, we had straight stocks. Man, we talking to our flagman Greg Kuntz, Steve, he goes, I almost wanted to have a race. But we had 18, 19 of them.
I think they were trying at a couple points.
So a few of them were enduro cars, some Shady Hill regulars.
Ryan Lagasty's crew.
Yeah, they were out there shaking their cars down for the enduro. So that was cool to see that going on. So yeah, just excitement. Every year it's more excitement. Not trying to play gloom and doom. The tire situation over the last couple of years has been on everybody's mind, and obviously I think that's going to be one of our biggest challenges this year with Hoosier Tire not knowing if they can supply enough tires for us, and us having to come up with a plan to make it better. But we're up to the challenge, working with John Brolick and everybody else on our staff to try to come up with what's best. And if that's the only major problem we have this year, then I think we're looking pretty good.
See, Chris, this is great. Like, Steve hadn't even saw my script. He doesn't know what's going on, and we just let him go.
He's 3 bullet points in already.
I know, he hits them all, and it's great.
Well, you said in the intro we're going to bring Steven for a little bit, and I'm like, you never bring Steven for a little bit. It's always I'm waiting for Chris to get up and go to the bathroom for 20 minutes.
Hey, no, I have a quick repair check tonight.
There you go.
Yeah, whatever he's drinking, that's that quick repair. That's what he's got going on over there. But yeah, you talked about some of the challenges. Obviously, tires, fuel is going to be the biggest challenges this year. How are you guys trying to kind of combat that and I kind of keep the enthusiasm up for the season?
Yeah, I mean it's tough. It's I filled my car up the other day and $82, and that's the most I've ever put in my car at one time. I think everybody was braced for it. Nobody wanted to deal with the gas prices, but it's just kind of the cost of doing business. Maybe they don't go out for the second practice session. A lot of times the division's really you're not making that many changes to where do I need to go out and run another 20 laps, and I changed it and the car feels the same and running the same time. So maybe guys will kind of self-police themselves on that. The tire situation, again, we're looking at a lot of different things. Our street stocks, we're on a different tire. We're on the tire that the Mid-American cars were on last year. And we think it's going to wear a lot better for our street stock drivers because, the motors are, not as big. The carburetors, much smaller. They're not burning up right rear coming off the corner as much as the sportsman cars are. So, we're hoping that they don't go through tires as much, which means we can, hopefully implement, we're not going to have new tires every night for street stocks. Maybe every other week. We talked to some drivers this week. We obviously want to talk to, more, the next practice and more of them on opening day. And we were kind of, hesitant saying, hey, what do you guys think if we, do tires every other week? And surprisingly, or not surprisingly, I guess you could say, they were like, well, what about every 3 weeks? A new tire. So, we're definitely, down with that. If that's something that these drivers, there might be a drop off, but it's everybody's dealing with the same thing. So if we can kind of limit, the street stock guys and help, you got to work your way up. You got to help probably the lower guys the most. And like I said, maybe the sportsmen, again, we're going to talk to everybody. We don't want to make it like, hey, this is what we're doing. Unless we absolutely have to, if our tire supplier comes to us and says, hey, this is what Hoosier's thinking a month into the season, they're definitely going to be down on how many tires we get. We're going to have decisions, but, we would like to include drivers, in those decisions. And if, we can get away with mid-ams, every, other week, that's something. Again, we would talk to the drivers. Late models, I know there are some tracks that are switching, from 2 tires a night to 1 tire. Don't know enough about it to basically say, yeah, we're just going to do it. Obviously, we want feedback from those drivers as well, but we're just at the end of the day, we're only going to get as many tires as we're going to get. So we got to not only do what we can, but we we got to plan ahead too. We might get a lot of tires and think, wow, things are good now. We're actually ahead of schedule.
Mm.
Then all of a sudden, we go to Hoosier in June or July, and it's like, no tires. And then it's like, maybe we should have saved, which we're trying to go in that mode if we can too. So a lot of unknowns. We'll know more once the first couple weeks kind of hit
This
us.
whole season's going to be like a race. Save your tires, but from week to week.
Yeah, and like I said, it's unfortunate. The prices have gone up. I mean, it's there's nothing that hurts more than to see you need the fuel and you need tires, and they've
Mhm.
gone up, unfortunately. Just gas prices. Those haulers, they suck gas. You guys withstand. What is it that you get? 5 miles to the gallon on
Yeah, if that.
honking vehicle
Yeah,
he has.
you fill it up, back it down the driveway, fill it up again.
Yeah. So, like I said, we're sympathetic. There's only only so much we can do, but like I said, if we can get away with street stocks every couple weeks getting a tire, sportsman cars every other week, or even 1 month, hey, we're going to try it and see what happens. We're all in the same boat. Everybody was like Hoosier, 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 Hoosier. I just saw American Racer posted something today, and they're in the same boat. Everybody's in
Mhm.
the boat. It's just something that we got to deal with, and fortunately here to stay. Hopefully next year things change a little bit, but we just gotta adjust on the fly and do what we do.
Yeah, just thinking of kind of about what we're talking about, Chris, and saving tires and everything like that. Honestly, we might get some better racing with
Yeah.
guys on used tires, slipping, sliding around. It might provide for some better racing.
Yeah, you never you never know what you're gonna get. So
Mhm.
the straight stocks, I think, are they're really gonna like these new tires. They were already qualifying or practicing under the track record. We knew that they were probably going to be faster on these tires. Sportsman cars, again, it's not ideal to maybe go a week without a tire, or just one tire and never give them that bump. But usually we were one tire a night, and then every like 4 or 5 weeks we'd give them two to kind of stock up on their bank. But I think those days are gone. I've given the bonus tires, and again, we'll just see what it is. And at the end of the day, everybody's on the same scenario. So
Right.
we'll maybe are going to be a little bit better races and some slipping and sliding. So yeah, we'll save some money and hopefully have some exciting races.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of excitement and everything around the Grundy County Speedway in the last couple of years, there's been a lot of improvements, a lot of new things going on at the Speedway. Anything new that the fans and drivers are going to see this year, like the last couple of years?
I think our biggest thing this year was the schedule. I mean, a couple years ago we got the new lights, and that was huge. The drivers loved it, the fans loved it. The big kind of a expenditure for the track. Then last year we did some paving on the track. Another kind of costly thing that needed to be done. And it's great that you're making the improvements where they're needed. It just got me thinking, though. I've worked there for about 11, 12 years. It just seemed that the schedule was basically, okay, look at what we did last year, change the dates up one or back one, whatever, opening on May 7th or
Mhm.
6th, whatever. And I kind of felt we got to change up the schedule. It's still kind of the same. We kind of wanted to get rid of the term "same old Grundy" when it came to a lot of certain things that went on there and things were handled and stuff like that. I feel that we've kind of changed that on a lot of different levels, but we felt that the schedule was same old Grundy. So um, the fair board has been great. Working with Joe DeBello has been great. They kind of opened it up and let me do what you can do. It's one thing to have the title promoter, but if you're not really allowed to bring in another series or try to get creative, you're kind of handcuffed. But doing
Right.
makes it difficult. So we reached out to CRA, and they're going to come back. They were here one other time with the Super Series. The Jegs All Star Tour is coming in, and that was a deal that was just really kind of. I'd been talking to him for a couple of years, and it got brought up again. Got to talking with Josh Nelms, and he kind of lined us up with McMahon Transport, who's been a sponsor of the track for the last few years, and they want to see the event happen. put some money up, and then all of a sudden the fair board was, yeah, let's try it. It came together so quick after, kind of a couple years, kind of nibbling on the edges of
Mm,
seeing what we could do. So for them to come in, we're having the midget come back, but it's kind of like a rebranded type thing to where, they're kind of like the Illini midgets. But a lot
mm,
of these, they didn't want to travel with them. They didn't, want to run the Rockford. They didn't want to run, go to South Bend. They're homebodies. They want to stay in the area. And we put a couple of different groups together, and they said, hey, let's kind of rebrand these. It's still kind of the Illini midgets, rules and stuff like that, but they did a couple changes to let some other people get involved, and we're going to kind of have our own little series within a series, 6 races at Grundy this year. So that's like I said, a lot of midget fans in the area. A lot of people grew up
mm.
watching the midgets at Mazan, and it was kind of cool to get the midgets coming in. And there's just a lot of new things. I don't want to say too much. I don't know if you got other questions. I want to 5 minutes, and then you're like, okay, I got nothing else, Steve. But yeah, we got other things on the schedule too that we're really excited about.
Yeah, you talk about the schedule, just kind of looking through. I mean, it's a stacked schedule. There's a lot
Yeah.
of big events, a lot of interesting things going on. Obviously, one of the big things amongst the many this year is the Enduro Series. With the Top
Yeah.
Gun Enduro Series, 3 races. Kind of talk about bringing back the Enduros and some of those events and just how that all came to be.
That was that was another thing that we've wanted to do for a couple years, and just kind of wasn't able to do anything really new until that kind of Kerry Carter kind of was back running things, and the different fair board was in place, the different racing committee was in place. And I look at the Goblin and what they do at Rockford. I look at the ISS series up in Wisconsin. There's another Great Lakes Enduro series. They run a lot of Michigan, Indiana stuff, and I saw all those enduros, and I'm like, man, a lot of our guys were going and winning those races and
Mm.
in the top 5. And it got brought up, let's do an enduro here, let's do an enduro, blah blah blah. We did one probably about 9 years ago. Maybe about 35 cars, not the greatest, but for your first enduro wasn't bad. And with anything in racing, like I always tell people this, everybody loves the Bahama brackets at Rockford Speedway, 200 and something plus cars for the week. Rome wasn't built in a day. The first year they had that, it was like 60 cars, and that was, you got to grow it. And we never had a chance to do that second enduro after the first one, which was disappointing. And I just said, I want to do an enduro. I want to do an enduro. And they finally, let's do one at the fair, because that kind of was the traditional date, for us to do the enduros. And then I got to think, and I said, you know what? A lot of these guys, might not, again, they don't want to travel. They don't want to go to Rockford. They don't want to go to Michigan to race. So I put a car together for one race is tough. We thought, finding a car, because it ain't like it was years, even 3-4 years ago, you could find a little 4-cylinder car for $200-300. And even now, you can't really do that anymore. They're quite expensive. So, we're like, we don't want guys to put a car together for one race and then they lost storage, or at the end of the year they're junking it or something. I said, if we're really going to commit to this, I said, let's do 2 or 3 races. And the net, if a guy wants to build a car, he's like, well, I'll build a car for 3 races. I don't want to build one just for a one-off. But if I can race this car 3 times a year, I'll do it. And again, it just kind of snowballed, getting some sponsorship to put it together. I knew if I could get some sponsorship, what I wanted to do, I wanted to do like a 3-race series, kind of, keep, like a separate point deal for all 3 races. So basically, if you're going to be in contention if you run all races, we'll kind of keep points based on how many laps you do. We'll crown a champion. You get to come to our banquet, get a trophy. Top 3 drivers are going to get some point fund money. So again, we just wanted to try to, offer something different to people, and we're hoping that they, they want to come and support it.
Jeremy, I can hear Zolad's wheels turning already.
I got his wheels turning on something else. So we're getting those gears turning on all kinds of things over in the S4 shop. But yeah, the first Enduro Spring Fling 200 coming up May 7th. So not very far away.
Yeah, and entry blank is on the website, and the way it's set up is if you exact date. I think it might be the 30th of April. If you get it in by the 30th of April, basically your pit pass is free. So you're going to save $35 if you get your entry in free. If not, then you're going to pay the entry plus the pit pass. Day of the race, excited, nervous. It's first time I'm kind of like running the show, doing it. We think
No
we
pressure.
no pressure. I think we got a jam car lined up, so that's cool. I've talked to a few people that going to help us with the tech side of things. The track went out and bought a bunch of transponders for us to be able to do it that way. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. We know again, we're not going to hit 100 cars. The first one, we're hoping just to keep building as the year goes on. We got one coming up pretty early, like our second week of the season, and then 4th of July, which was our traditional fair enduro date. They're going to run that, and then a week after the Bettenhausen, I believe it's the 24th of September, will be the third one. So we're hoping to see it grow as the season goes. We're hoping by the end of the year, or at least the 4th of July, obviously we'll have a better car count than May 7th. But more the merrier. Already got some people from Indiana. The first guy that entered was a guy from Michigan, so that's encouraging.
All right.
Talked to a few people, Plymouth Speedway regulars that were talking about, building cars. So yeah, we hope to, hope to see a lot of drivers supported, fans come out. It's kind of a cool deal if you've never seen one. Obviously, the more cars you have, the little bit more exciting it is. But like I said, we're just hoping to get some new people, interested in racing. That's pretty much the cheapest racing you can do is get into an enduro car. You get 200 laps. That's a lot compared to a regular night race. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially
Definitely.
if you check quick repair and you don't sit on pit road for a half hour.
Only you.
That was a whole, that's a whole other enduro, yeah.
And we will get to that one here in a little bit. Still looking, season opener here coming up on the 30th. The Cabin Fever season opener, late models, Midwest Sportsman, the Mass Series. Talk about that series just a little bit and kind of how they formed up and made that series.
That is, they're similar to our sportsman cars that run weekly on Friday nights. That was the brainchild of Jim Olson, father of Jeff Olson, longtime competitor at the Speedway. Ran the sportsman cars, ran late model, ran a lot of enduro stuff, and he just kind of wanted to do some special races for the sportsman type cars. So he put something together last year, which was kind of cool. A lot of money goes to the drivers, and that's great if you can get people that want to throw a lot of money at drivers. Whenever somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, we want to do a big race and throw the money at the drivers," I'm like, yes. So the drivers appreciate it. Over the winter, he wanted to. I think the initial plan over the winter was to run with us 2-3 races, and he wanted to maybe reach out to some other tracks. And I think he kind of reined it in a little bit. I think he wanted to kind of get his feet wet more so just at Grundy, his home track, kind of knows everybody, and try to get stuff off the ground there. So then he wanted to up it to just 4 races, and just be with us, and again let the the area sportsman type cars come race with us. We've had some interest from type cars wanting to come in, and you got to maybe change your weight or change this or change just make some some simple changes to where you can run. And again, the money is minimum $1,000 to win each race. It's going to be a God, I don't want to say the number because I don't want it to be wrong, but it's very nice point fund that they're putting together too, I believe, for their top 3 drivers and points. So you could not win the championship, you could not finish top 5 in points in our weekly deal, and just come run these races and kind of win your own like separate championship, and get some good races. Like I said, we got those 4. We got the Jake Bradley Memorial, which basically is going to pay $1,000 to win too. So not bad to have 5 races for the sportsman division.
Yeah.
Plus lap money and different stuff that goes with it. So
yeah, looking at the flyer right now for the Sportsman Challenge. Yeah, they're calling 1,000 to win each of the races, and then $5,000 in series point money going to the top 4 drivers.
Yeah.
So big money going there. Those 4 races obviously be the Cabin Fever season opener that we talked about, the Carter Memorial, the Midseason Championship, July 1st. There's a Midwest Mass Sportsman Special Friday the 19th, and then of course the Bentonhausen Memorial on the 17th. Obviously, the Bentonhausen returns, kind of the marquee event this year.
Yeah, the the granddaddy of them all, basically in the Chicagoland area, and for longtime fans, they know that that was at Illiana for 50 something years, or whatever it was, and then when Illiana closed, I reached out to Mike McCooley and said, hey, we'd like to carry on their tradition, and I know there was other tracks that wanted to try to do that as well, and at first Mike didn't. He kind of had the thought process of, what, it was always an Illiana race. I'd rather just kind of let it die as an Illiana race, and I understood his point, but I kept pushing. I said, Mike, it was an Illiana race, but it was always the Chicagoland drivers, the Grundy guys, Raceway Park guys came out. I said, let's keep it going, and he finally relented and said stop calling me. Yes. And we picked up some great sponsors right from the get-go. Elite Trade Show came on board and was with us for basically every year since we've done it, and turned it into a nice deal. We've added to it every year. It was only a couple of divisions, and we added another division, and now last year it was like our 4 main divisions, kind of like a highlight end of the year type deal for everybody. And Ty Majeski came in and added that one to his impressive resume of races that he won. So it's always cool to kind of end your year with the stock car side of things with the Bentonhausen 100.
Yeah, and that was always one of my favorite things is you got the local guys that have raced there all year, but a race like that, you're going to get people from Wisconsin. You're going to get Ty Majeski's. You're going to get Dick Trickles. I guess that'd be about the same these days, but it's kind of, you get the best versus our regular guys.
It was cool. I don't remember what I was doing. I just remember my phone rang and I looked down and it said Ty Majeski, and I was like, oh. I was like a fan for a second, and
stop calling me.
Yeah, it was cool. Wanting information on the race, and like I said, we're going to have 3 of those. I don't want to forget Greg McCarn's Midwest Tour. They've been with us for a lot of years. Looking forward to them coming back on July, I believe, 9th on a Saturday, and he'll bring his stars and cars from the Midwest Tour to come down and race against our locals. So that was always kind of our one event. We did the locals versus the traveling stars, and then like I said, we added the Bentonhausen, and that's been going on since 2016, and then now with CRA. So we got 3 traveling series, and and I want to bring up one other thing just in case it gets overlooked. Opening day, and also the night of features in September, Midwest Champ Carts. I'm really excited to see those. That got brought up to me by our iRacing fearless leader, DJ Walter.
Oh, geez.
About them. And he said, I'm going to have the guy reach out to you. And, he sent me videos, and I watched some of them, at Indiana and Michigan. It's, it's almost like, Super Cups out there. Everybody's like, oh, they let the cart. And I'm like, well, you let Super Cups race out there, and they used to run carts out there a lot, like on Sundays, ago. But they would run with the legend cars and stuff like that. And reached out to the owner of that series, and he wanted one date, and then the more we talked, he goes, I'll take another one if you have it. So yeah, we're going to open the season with them. They're going to be there on April 30th, and then again the night of features on Labor Day weekend. So looking forward to that. Just again, giving people, something different, to look at with the midgets on. We usually run 4 nights or 4 divisions a night, and then cups, the deal with Eric Heddens there. I think they had about 11 last year, similar this year on the schedule. So it was like every other week we had 5 divisions, and then now with the midgets, now those are 6 nights. So now we got 17 nights with 6 divisions, and like I said, it's a chock full schedule for sure, and really looking forward to, again, if the midget car counts can do what a lot of people are saying they're going to do. A lot of interest from former drivers. I'm a stock car guy first and foremost. So when they were talking midgets, I didn't know a lot of the names and stuff like that, but they started rattling off. Well, this guy, he has a midget sitting, and he said he's going to put it together. And this guy went out and bought one, and I'm like, I know those names. They're names in the area that I knew. So if that takes off, like I think it's gonna take off, and the Super Cups, I've been following Eric on social media all winter, and man, I think he says he has about 7 rookies that are
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah, he was very excited about it the last couple of weeks when we talked with
Well,
him.
Eric's always very excited.
He is. But again, if we can double our car counts, I mean, they were kind of floundering a little bit, a few years ago, right before Eric took over, and I think he had a solid first year. I mean, not the car counts that he wanted, but it was a good learning year, and a lot of people I think took interest. He promotes series great. He promotes our racetrack great, and see finally bear some fruit with so many people. I see a video of this person buying a car, and then there's a young man up in Wisconsin who's going to come down and race, and then I believe he bought another series kind of based out of like the South Bend area, Michigan area, something like that, and thinking maybe get some cross from them. So again, if we can get 16 Super Cups, that'd be that, because in the long run, that's where our drivers come from. Our late model guys, sportsman guys at one time, or street stock guys, or 4-cylinder. So just we got to keep the chain moving and keep getting these younger drivers involved, and hope they just working up the chain.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially those lower divisions like that, a little bit more cost effective. Good ways to get your feet wet.
Yeah, like I said, even enduros, a lot of guys, they don't want to run pure stocks because they think it's pricey, and I got to have a truck and a trailer to get it there, and I got to have a car, and I got to do this and this and this safety wise, and blah 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 if I'm going to race weekly. And it's like, well, we even have a cheaper alternative to pure stocks now, our with our enduro, and you can build a car, and basically it seems like every enduro series kind of like a lot of racing and a lot of divisions in the area. It seems like everybody's always on their own island with packages and stuff like that. And enduros are the same. You can take some cars somewhere and be legal, or you take them somewhere and they'd be legal, but you're going to get spanked pretty good. So we feel like confident in our rules to where you can build a car, run the Rockford races, you can run our races, maybe some of the the Midwest races, and you can run a car and get 7, 8, 9 races out of it. So it's pretty cost effective for what you have in the car.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking over the schedule here because I got it pulled up. Lord knows I was not going to remember everything that's on it. Illinois State Championship, that's back June 17th. 2 twin feature nights there.
That I got to tell you, that's probably one of my favorite nights. We just started it last year, but if you know me, I'm a former Raceway Park bum. Grew up there as a kid, and a lot of times they did their Monza like for all the holidays, 4th of July, Labor Day. They always ran twin features for the late models, and that was always kind of cool to watch. And we've done it before with some other divisions. The Frank Welch was 3 races, and then it was 2 races, and we tried to do double features here and there, and we came up with something to where Kerry Carter wanted to have an Illinois State Championship, and he explained it to me, and it was more of a midget deal. That was when he told me that the Beach Boys were the entertainment one year, I was like, how old is this series? What did they have this? But I said, well, I don't really know if the midgets can support what you envision, but why don't we do it on the stock car side, and let's do this. Let's run twin features, and let's kind of keep an overall where you could Jeremy, you could win 1 race, Chris, you could win 1, and
so that'd be nice,
second in both, and win the overall. So we do that with all the divisions. We run no heat races. We just do 5 features, intermission, 5 more features. So that's kind of a cool deal. Yeah, that's one of my most favorite nights out there.
Yeah, see, looking else through here, we got I got a Blackhawks night, which was a pretty cool feature. Last week, during the Blackhawks game, Grundy County Speedway got a highlight there, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, if they'd have gone like 2 more seconds of that video clip, I'd have been on the Blackhawks.
Yeah, Dan Ahern, he's a longtime car owner in the Chicagoland area. For those that don't know, he drives the Zamboni for the Chicago Blackhawks, and he owns the it was the '88
Yeah,
car, but he switched it to 35 when I believe Tony Esposito passed away,
mhm.
and Clay Kurtz drives for him. Finished second in points last year, and also picked up his first feature win. Ironically, the first week I guess he died on Thursday
Yeah, there was that week.
on Friday, and he won. And yeah, during the Blackhawks game, they did a nice little kind of presentation there with it, using some damn it dimit race footage
Hey, sponsor plug.
for their video. And yeah, it was cool to see that. So it's nice to see people kind of behind the scenes kind of get recognized for something like that, especially during a Blackhawks game. That's kind of a cool.
Mhm.
And Dan's worked with us for probably at least 4 or 5 years, where we do different Blackhawk things. We've had the shoot the puck kind of deal out there before, and the I forgot the name. What do they call the girls? The ice girls, the ice.
I
Whatever the girls are for the Blackhawks,
Yeah.
they've been out there. They've given away tickets to the games. Present to the feature winners. So they've always had a lot of stuff, and we've actually, because of that, this year I was just talking with our general manager Joe DeBello, and he had mentioned that somebody had reached out to him from a hockey, like a youth hockey league, and they wanted to come out and be part of that and bring
All
other
right.
and everybody kind of come out and be there for that night. So yeah,
Mhm.
great to kind of cross promote. And again, some of these hockey kids may not know what Grundy County Speedway is, or had never seen a race up close. So come on out, maybe we hook a few of them. And I'm assuming we're all the same
I
gentlemen,
think that's a penalty.
that we were kids.
Yes.
And,
Hooking in hockey is a penalty. You're
I
correct.
believe we were all kids and we were young, and that's kind of why we're still doing this today. We
Mhm.
grew up around it, or racing at kind of in our blood at a young age. So if we can get some young fans kind of interested in local racing, that's what we need.
Probably because we never actually grew up.
Well, yeah, there's that.
Anybody that listens to us in Discord on a Friday night knows that.
Yes, absolutely true. A lot on the
Yeah,
schedule. A lot of good
glad
stuff, and-
the post race never makes it to radioactive.
I kind of wish it would sometimes.
Yeah, those conversations are very entertaining, to say the least. But just a lot of great things on the schedule, and transition. We kind of talk about the Discord, talk about the online stuff that we've been doing. Now that that's kind of in the rearview mirror, kind of give us a review of what you saw this season, and just kind of the excitement around the iRacing stuff that we did.
Yeah, we had fun. This is something that we thought of right when the pandemic hit. April rolled around that first year, and none of us were going racing because everything was shut down. And we came up with, hey, let's run some iRaces, and then it was let's announce them.
Mhm.
And Shup Real Estate came on board. With some help of Stan Zolod's, kind of helped us kind of merge the two things together and made it possible for us to kind of broadcast all these races. And I have fun doing it still, but man, that first year just was kind of special. To have
Mhm.
people kind of tune in, and they really were like people reaching out, hey, thanks for doing this. And we're people that I never thought in a million years that would sit home and open their laptop and watch a video game, basically. We're like, Steve, thanks for putting this together. This was so cool. We watched it. It was cool to hear you announcing, and Chris Goodacre's out there, and our photographer, and this and this. And it, like I said, it was really special that first year. We're doing it now. Basically, it kind of turned like a third season, because we did a winter at the end of the first year and a winter at the end of year 2 of COVID. And car counts were a little down, but I think you gotta realize, when we were doing it and it was stronger, COVID was raging,
Mhm.
doing nothing. So now this winter, it kind of, COVID kind of was gone, and more people were going out and doing things finally for the first time in a couple of years, or working on their cars. So we didn't get as many drivers, but it was still fun. Again, it's great. We could get 8 cars, and it's just cool to kind of hang out with you guys on a Friday night when it's 8 degrees out, and
Yeah.
and doing that. And it's and surprisingly, it's some good races. I mean, we've had, it's just like regular racing. We've had guys take each other out with 10 to go, fast lap. We've had, lapped cars get in the way and do that and get some feuds going on the track. Yeah, this year was a true hodgepodge too, because we had a bunch of new guys show up. We had a guy, God, I don't remember his name, but he popped in from Colorado.
Oh, right.
I think knew him, and he came and he won on opening day, and we were just like, "Who's this guy?" So that was kind of cool. And then we ended it, at the end of the year with the Enduro, which is, whew, that was no cautions and lots of wrecking and stuff you can't repeat on air, but that was fun. It's Jeremy, you don't get to really partake in it as much as we do because you're kind of behind the scenes, with the camera angles and kind of producing the whole event. But yeah, it's a good time. And that Zolot's guy, he's a closet announcer, whether he believes it or not. I think he loves to be out there talking about stuff and
he has never met a microphone he does not like.
Yeah. So, but no, it's fun. There's a group on Facebook, Grundy County Speedway iRacing. I know a lot of people do it. A lot of people want to get into it. If that's something you're going to do, join our group on Facebook. And occasionally we do some off-season stuff, compared to when we normally do it. So we'll put together a race in the summer or the fall or something. But usually, like after Christmas, we pretty much put together a pretty solid season. And it's again, it's just a cool way to kind of stay in touch, with us. And Blake Brown's there pretty much every week. Anthony Dance. Gotta give my guy Mike Morris a shout out. The guy I work with the power up at Grundy. He gets a little bit better every week. He shows up every week, and no matter what, he's out there trying. So that's cool. And like I said, it's just a lot of fun.
And maybe one of these years we'll run everybody for points and see if we can't crown a
show. Oh dear God, no, it's a terrible idea.
No, I think it's a great idea.
As long as I don't got to keep track of the points, I'm okay with it.
We'll make Vinegar do that.
Whoa.
Wait a minute.
I did the points at Illiana, and then I did the points at Grundy. And I used to do it the old-fashioned way with, and adding them up and looking at the pay sheets and a calculator and blah, blah, blah. And it was like 3 years ago, Mike Morris, where I was just talking about, I think we can do points just through my laps. It'll factor them in for you. Do you want to do that?
Yes. Yeah, sign.
Now when there's a problem with points, I say just message Mike Morris. So that's
oh, gotta love being able to do that.
Yeah.
Well, there's not many guests that I can ever bring on here that I actually talk NASCAR with us for a little bit. So obviously had the big Bristol dirt races last weekend. Before we let you go and kind of get on with the rest of the evening here, I do want to talk about that just a little bit.
Sure.
Because it's definitely a very unique event, to say the least.
It is. I don't think it was that popular being on Easter this year. I know a lot of people trying to turn it into something, with the NBA plays on Christmas and football on Thanksgiving and stuff like that. I kind of thought it was a mistake to do it on Easter. I'm still not sold on the dirt. I'm not against it, but it's like, I like Bristol. I think a lot of us like the short tracks. Everybody's like, we need more short tracks. We need more short tracks. And then they take, basically one of the, premier races on the schedule, and then they throw dirt down. And it's just like, I would probably prefer them to keep Bristol, the 2 races, and then let's go to a new track. Let's go to a track that's more, specific, a real dirt track. Let's go there, as opposed to covering up, something that's good. Again, I saw bits and pieces of the race. I saw part of it in Indiana, and then I was coming home from relatives from Easter, and then I got home looking at the results, and I'm like, this race should almost. Why is there 150 laps left to go? And then I guess it rained, and there was stuff they were doing, and I guess there was at one point where they pitted, and Kyle Busch, I believe, stayed out, and he was the leader, but they were saying Briscoe was still the leader because you can't lose spots. And then it was raining, and then if it ended under rain, who were they going to give the win to? And the ending was fantastic. Everybody loves to see that, especially if you're a Kyle Busch fan. At the beginning with the the Harvick deal with the track knot. really being ideal for racing conditions. I get the frustration by some of the drivers. I don't know. I guess in a nutshell, like I said, I would like to see it, do it at Eldora or do it, somewhere else, and then that way you're adding a short track to the schedule and
Right.
keeping Bristol the 2 races, paid. Because I tell you what, I looked at the stands and there was nobody there. So I know TV dollars rule all, but and I just knew so many people that would just make a whole weekend out of that. They
Mm.
Saturday, Sunday, this, and it just seems like the allure of going to some of these races just it isn't as exciting as it used to be.
Yeah.
I've got a curveball I'm going to throw at you here, kind of on that. Is I just read, I think today, that Wilkesboro is getting 2 events. They're going to be a big, huge blowout on the asphalt, and then they're going to throw dirt on it for the next weekend.
I was opinions on everything. You know what? Pete, we did talk about this. I don't know if it was you guys, but I mean, I've talked to a lot of people about this and save North Wilkesboro, and I'm like, you can say you want to save it as much as you want. They will never have a NASCAR race there again. And they're talking about maybe having a truck race there in 2024. It just, man, the place is just so far gone. I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. It's a big half-mile track. I know they want to have super late models there, and they want to have, the compacts and everything like that. I'm anxious, curious, I guess, to see how it goes. Is there other big races going on that weekend? Are super late model guys going to travel to run this? What are they? If they're getting ready to basically kind of tear a lot of it down. I think the way I've read more into it, they kind of want to just leave a lot of the stuff up and then like kind of tear a lot of it down then for the future. So it's like, the allure of going to North Wilkesboro and, or the stands where we sit, the pits and the paving and all that. I mean, all in all, it's cool. If you can save a racetrack, that's cool. But again, I'm not 100% sold on what the end product is going to be. But believe me, I'd be the first one to say I was wrong, and they did it, to be able to do that. But I'm just kind of curious to see how it's all going to shake out. What do you guys think about it?
I think it's great that it's at least getting some kind of rejuvenation.
Yeah.
We'd all probably like to see our local tracks here that have closed down, have the same thing, that rejuvenation.
Talk
But
about any specific one?
yeah, no,
Points at the top corner of our show
yeah.
here.
So I mean, we'd all like to see that, but the thing with, and I've kind of heard this on the radio coming home today, the SMI throughout all their tracks, and North Wilkesboro would be an SMI track, is they've got problem putting people into grandstands at all of their racetracks. Whether it's Bristol, whether it's Charlotte, Texas, it's across the board. And I don't think this is going to be, it's going to be cool for the first year. If the trucks do come back, just like Rockingham was when they brought that back a couple years ago. For the first year,
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, for the first year, it was great. For the second year, it just kind of fizzled out, because what else is around Rockingham? Nothing. There's nothing out there. If you go to like a Kansas Speedway, you've got a casino there. You've got a town kind of building up around it. Whereas those tracks, they died out for a reason, because there's nothing else around.
Yeah, I got to say this. I'm 1,000,000% at how they got $18 million from the governor. I mean, it's great that they did, and I know it went to a lot of the other short tracks, but it's kind of like just going to this dilapidated, apartment complex, and we're going to give you $8 million to rebuild it, or well, let's just go somewhere else and build new, or let's this. And yeah, like I said, I'm curious to see how it turns out. I'm a short track guy, so to put late models on a big half mile, kind of, and to me it's worse when you put 4 cylinders out there and stuff like that. But again, we'll see how it shakes out. Like I said, they're going to have the asphalt cars, and they're going to put dirt on it, and look at how hard it was to run an NASCAR race and have that kind of be competitive, shape. How are they going to do that for I saw I guess the limits are like 100 cars per division they're supposed to limit it to. So if you get 100 super lates and 100 modifieds, and how's the track going to hold up, and
right.
I know I sound horrible, negative here, but
Steve
yeah,
Betchel, racing fan.
yeah, it's like I said, it's cool. I just kind of it's more of a head scratcher, I think, than anything. Just and I gotta wonder, $18 million sounds like a lot of money, but I mean, if you've seen pictures and the drone videos and stuff,
Mhm.
and just infrastructure that you're not even seeing, being able to bring water into the track, and how that. When's the last time that place was even had a race? 25 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1996, last
Yeah.
NASCAR race, and
So, like I said, can you bring water into the track? Can you, what's the, I thought I remember reading that like just the roads in and out weren't the greatest and that, but I don't think we're gonna have 50,000 people there, so that's not really a big thing. I just $18 million sounds like a lot, but I think that place probably needs about $60 million stuff done. So, well, hey, it's a good problem to have, and
Mhm.
the money's there, and people smarter than me are gonna try putting it together and putting a weekend together. And if they have it streaming somewhere, I'll probably get together at a buddy's house and watch it and see what happens, and kind of make my decision there. But it'll be interesting. It's ironic you brought up Rockingham, because everybody was like, oh, they bring back Rockingham, bring it back, and then they did, and it's like, uh, where'd you guys go? All the ones that wanted us to bring. Are you ever going to buy tickets? And the grandstands basically said no, we're not.
yeah. And I'll tie this back in a little
Mhm.
bit to semi-local. You've got the Truck Series and doing a doubleheader with the ARCA Menard Series at IRP this summer in July. So it's going to be the same conversation there. You guys begged and begged and begged for NASCAR to come back to IRP. Here's your chance. You support it.
Mhm.
Maybe they'll keep doing it. Maybe it'll grow into something bigger. Maybe somehow you can convince the Xfinity Series to come back. Who knows? But you gotta start somewhere by supporting the trucks and our Menard Series.
I think IRP was a perfect track for Xfinity and for the trucks. And again, I was in that same boat. Not that I travel to the races, but hey, I can have an opinion, right? So
Sure.
same way, like, even the Cup cars that if you told me that the Brickyard was off the schedule, whether it be the oval or the road course, I would be fine with it. It was the first year it was there. Oh my God, they're racing at the Brickyard, and but to me the racing was never good, and I'm not even talking about the tire problem races that they had and stuff like that. Road courses I could do without NASCAR. I could 6 of them I could definitely do without. So when they went to the road course, I didn't think it was any better. But yeah, I'd prefer to see the Cup cars at IRP, which will never happen. But if Xfinity went back there, I think you could have a nice triple header weekend with ARCA on Friday, trucks on
Mhm.
Saturday, and Xfinity on Sunday. But again, like Jeremy said, you hit the nail on the head. You gotta all these people that wanted to see it, you got to go support it. So we'll see how
Right.
the proof is in the pudding, I guess, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And the same thing goes with local racetracks,
I was about to say that.
including the Grundy County Speedway. A lot of meat on the bone for everybody out there to get their short track fixed at the Grundy County Speedway this year. Steve, we appreciate you coming on and talking to us for a while.
Yeah, I love coming on with you guys. We get a little bit busier as the season goes on, but like Jeremy said, if you haven't been out there, come on out. If you haven't been out in a while, a lot of, like I said, new lights, new pavement, kind of a new attitude out there, a schedule that should give you, you should be able to open it up on your computer and pick 1 or 2 nights that'll, kind of get you going. We're on Facebook. Check us out at Grundy County Speedway. Check out our website with our ridiculously long domain name, speedwayonline.com. Every time I have to give somebody my email address, I cringe. But
I know the feeling.
that's the hand we were dealt with when the other guy that had the domain before us kept it, or whatever happened with that. I don't know. And we kind of landed on Grundy County Speedway Online.com. So check us out on the website. And yeah, Chris, I know I'll see you out there Saturday again, probably,
Yep.
and every other week. Jeremy, I know I'll see you out there a bunch of times with the S4 team. And
Yep.
yeah, fans out there really hoping to have you guys come out and support it. One other thing I do want to say too is our fair. Last year, I think like the 116th or 117th year of the Grundy County Fair, and that was from listening to people that have gone to the fair numerous years. It's the best fair, and depending on who you listen to, 20 years, 30 years, ever. You had just so many kind of you got the rides, you got the games, obviously. We had live entertainment, we had axe throwing, we had an escape room. The Illini, the tractor pulls, the fireworks show. Now we're adding an enduro to one of those days. I'm excited. They're actually doing bingo one night. I'm really excited about that. So yeah, check us out too. There's a link off of our website for the Grundy County Fair. So that's run June the 30th through July 4th. So again, come out and check out the races on one of those nights. Come check out the fair, and again, hope to just see you guys out there as much as we can this year.
Yep, absolutely. We'll definitely be out there. So thanks for coming on, and
Yep.
we'll definitely see you at the races.
As always, guys, appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk racing with you guys. Have a good show.
Yep.
Thanks, you too. All right, Steve Bechtel, promoter, Grundy County.
All right, he's gone. Now we can talk about him.
Well, he can still hear us.
Yeah, I know.
So a lot to unpack there, a lot going on. I know you were at the track this past weekend, and
I'm a little bit intimidated with just how much they have on their schedule this year. I gonna need to rent a room or something.
I see you need to get that corporate helicopter or
yeah,
corporate camper
that would be handy.
Yeah, so a lot going on, a lot of awesome events over there. Really looking forward to it. I know we'll be out there with the S4 crew quite a bit this season. So looking forward to doing that as well. Now, like I said earlier, in case you were not with us at the top of the show, we were supposed to have Tony Eldridge here from the Plymouth Motor Speedway and South Bend Motor Speedway. Unfortunately, he fell ill, and he was not able to join us. And we're getting on to about our hour mark here, and I kind of like to keep it at about that hour range. So rather than try to kind of rush through the Plymouth schedule and rush through the South Bend schedule, because there's a lot of meat there too.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff going on out there.
Yeah, if you like a healthy diet of short track racing, whether it's asphalt or dirt in our area, you've got it this season. So you get to pick and choose where you want to go. So I want to do those two tracks justice. So we'll try to reschedule Tony, get him in here. We'll talk about this. I know South Bend is having their opening night this coming Saturday. A lot going on over there this week. I just did see that they are going to do a couple test and two nights this week. So go check.
I believe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yep, I think 5 to 8. I believe if I saw that correctly.
Sounds right.
So you got 3 chances if you're a competitor, or I did not see if anything about grandstand admission. See if you could get in and watch.
Let's
see if you pull that up real quick.
All right, I'll let you do the work on that. I would imagine free grandstands, but I don't remember seeing it, so don't quote me on that.
Me neither. Let's see.
Tony, don't hold me responsible for that.
Oh, you're responsible now. You're totally
damn.
Let's see. South Bend Motor Speedway. Open hot laps. Wednesday, 5 to 8. Thursday, 5 to 8. And Friday is 5 to 9. $20 per person. Does not say anything about the grandstands. So,
well, if nothing else, you can pull up in the parking lot and listen to them.
Yeah, get your motor revved up and ready to go for some action this coming Saturday night. They had their night of destruction this past week, kind of the official start of the season. So a lot going on. It's here, man. Race season is here.
Not yesterday, Easter Sunday, but a week ago Sunday, I literally spent most of the day just sitting on the couch thinking, yep, this is it. This is the last one.
Yep, had to get that good relaxing in right then and there. So, you were at the track, got some photos taken. Go to photography.com.
Yep, they'll be posted. Fingers crossed. I'm going to try to get them up tomorrow. Don't come fillet me if they're not, but I'm going to try to finish them up tonight, get them posted tomorrow.
So you check out all the good photographs there. You gonna be at South Bend this weekend, or
the plan right now is I've got to be at Grundy for practice. But like as soon as the last checkered flag falls for practice, I think I'm gonna hightail it as fast as I can, try to make South Bend for the feature start.
All right, so we got that going on. The Where is Chris Goodacre? We'll have a little Where is Waldo books.
Gee, don't do the Fox thing where we have a little cartoon.
Dude, it's a whole thing, man. You could sell those. Where is Goodacre? The little racetrack activity books. Dude, I just made you a bunch of money. I cost you
I like it.
probably a bunch,
I like
but
yeah.
instead
I
of Where's
like it.
Waldo, it's
Maybe we
Jimmy.
will do that.
Yeah, so we got that going on. This episode will be audio version of it will be posted to Anchor and Spotify and Apple Podcasts here later this evening and get that done. If you're watching this right now, you're probably watching us on either Facebook or YouTube. Make sure if you have not liked and subscribed and done all that good stuff yet, you do so you can keep tabs on everything we've got going on here at Illiana Stock Car Radio. Before we finish up, Goodacre, you got anything else for me?
Nope. Apparently Schwartz has taken 2.
Yep, he's
Oh,
taking
geez.
2. I'm
Okay.
already making moves here. These big money moves, making them.
All right. I'll take it.
All right. Well, if you got nothing else for me there, Chris, good show tonight. Always
Yep.
good talking to Steve
Mhm.
and learn about what's going on at the Grundy County Speedway. So 2 weeks time, that's our plan to schedule to be back. I don't know what the hell.
And maybe we'll twist Tony's arm and get him all healthied up again so he can go through all the goings on at Plymouth and South Bend for us.
Yep, so it'll be Monday, May 2nd should be our next episode. So again,
or maybe I'll send some feelers out towards Dirtland and get somebody out there, Bob.
Yeah, maybe we can get somebody from the dirt world since Bob wants us to talk about dirt. Maybe we'll get that rolling and see if we can't cross over to that world just a little bit. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight, hanging out with us for a little while, talking some racing. And again, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Illiana SCR. If you want to listen to this on the go, Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and we're kind of working everywhere else to get everything distributed nicely. So that being said, I want to again thank everybody for coming in, tuning in with us tonight, and we will see you guys in a couple weeks.